who's ready for some black magic? Interesting stuff here, but let's see what exactly this film is about. Here with the IMDb plot. A family's getaway turns terrifying when an intruder possesses the teen daughter's body, putting her at the mercy of an increasingly sinister commands. Yeah, that's not good. So yeah, I say, at the top here, no specific reason why I watched this movie other than was kind of flipping through Netflix. So I did find this on Netflix. So for those who are searching through Netflix, that's where I watched this. Just kind of looking for something and saw it and was like, yeah, okay, well, let's go with this. We'll give this one a try. Almost taken aback because, as I hit play, I realized it was just over 2 hours and was like, crap, what did I just do? But, maybe there was some stuff that they could have shortened it, but, whatever. I will say, I guess the origin of the film is India, so even though it was filmed elsewhere, apparently, so the movie is largely in Hindu, but it does have subtitles so you can read that. They do speak a little bit English here and there, so they will say certain things, sometimes complete, a couple of things, and then other times it might just be a word or two. So there's that little bit of a mix there, but certainly not enough for you just to follow the movie by listening. You are going to have to read a little bit. I didn't try to change my settings, so I don't know if you could change it to complete, English dubbing or not, but I sometimes fail to just do that. I just let it roll. So you can give it a try. I don't know if that'll work or not. Anyway, that's kind of give you the setup here, and also it says 2024, so I'll try to keep this spoiler free in case, for those who have not seen this movie yet. So you can get all that housekeeping out of the way and kind of jumping into this one. We start off a little weird scene, not really sure what's going on there, but just kind of a reminder that this is a horror movie. Because, what's to follow is going to be an introduction to this family, and you're going to apparently see really good times. See a happy family. You're really going to get to see it's a mother, father, teenage daughter, and young brother here. And, you're going to see how protective the father is and a little bit about the mother and, the young boy and how he kind of fits in. And, he's pretty smart for his age, it seems, and he's got a little good personality there. So really kind of as this movie opens, it's happy, good times. You're really going to see, the family being happy and the father being protective and just kind of that kind of goodness going on. Even as they kind of get in their car to go on their little trip here, you're going to see, them, having a song go on and, all this happy stuff. To kind of set the stage. And when I say they could have cut stuff out of the movie, yeah, I could have done without some of that. But I guess, they really want to drive the point home of how happy everybody is together before, things are just going to go, downhill. And it kind of begins to go downhill when they kind of stop before they get to their getaway home to eat something. And they run into this guy and they invite him to the table. And quite quickly, the family doesn't really pick up on it, but you're going to pick up on it, that he's having some kind of weird interaction here with the daughter. And soon enough, things are fine, whatever. They leave, they get to the getaway. And again, we're about to see, these good times start again, and there's, this happy moment, whatever. And, hey, look who's at the door. Here comes this guy again. And before you know it, he's inside, and yeah, the fun begins. Everything, it kind of starts off again, just kind of a friendly, he just happened to be there, blah, blah, blah. The wife's a little smart. She's like, hey, what the hell is happening? But the father's like, oh, no, it's okay. Come in, charge your phone, whatever, no problem. Yeah, problem. Soon enough, we see this guy kind of show that he's kind of shows at first to the audience that he's kind of getting the daughter to do certain things. And then soon enough, he's going to prove to the father and mother that he can control the daughter. And he basically, for, I guess his power is only to use it on her. He doesn't really use it on the family. But he's going to make things pretty bad because he can kind of, put her life in danger or put the life of the other family members in danger, and that kind of uses that to kind of keep the family from basically throwing him out and from kind of interfering what his ultimate plan is. And basically he wants the mother and father to basically give the daughter up to, just kind of wash their hands of her and let her go with him. And as opposed to him just saying, hey, come with me, and just leaving, I guess, it's a thing where he actually has to get the mother and the father to just kind of say, okay, here she is. He can't just take her. But, so, the film's going to kind of roll on. It's going to be, mostly in this house now. And, it's going to be the mother and the father just kind of trying to figure out how to get out of the situation while this guy is continuing to push the buttons and level of making the daughter do some different things, sometimes a little bit more threatening than others, to kind of control them and to kind of push them and to try to get them to eventually submit and give up the daughter. And I guess I'll kind of leave it at that. You will find out more about this guy, why he's doing it, his motives. It is going to spin into a kind of craziness at the end, a weird, bizarre scene. I'll just say the family does an interesting little trick. I kind of knew. I'm not gonna say I figured everything out. I kind of thought that part of how this was going to roll is that one of something that we saw early in the film was going to be play a role in it, or this. I tried not to spoil it, but a certain person, a certain thing was going to play a role in somehow, some way, maybe having an effect come the final act of this film, and it kind of did. So I was kind of happy with myself in that regard, even though that probably made no sense to you guys. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a crazy scene and so forth. But definitely, pushes the buttons. It's kind of intense at times. I don't want to say too much about what he makes her do. Some of the stuff might seem, a little ridiculous, but at the end is still kind of pushing the limits, pushing her limits and so forth. And, you think about it from a parent's perspective, and, there's really nothing they can stop. Whatever he says for her to do, she's doing it regardless. It doesn't matter how she feels. She really can't fight it. She just does it. It starts off, something very easy. I just say that, I guess, like he tells her to sit, then stand, sit, and stand, sit, and stand. So she's going back and forth, and that's just something simple. Then, there's other things. And so he kind of mixes it up. Sometimes it's a little bit more deadly. Sometimes it's just to kind of push her, and whatever. And it will get a little bit more crazy as the film goes on, as you would expect. As he really is trying to get the mother and father to give up their daughter. And then we see a very bizarre scene, and I guess the final act of the film. And it has a very interesting ending, and so forth. There's a couple of really good lines. Again, you're obviously having to read them. Definitely what is said at the end of the movie is kind of the point, and I guess if you want to see the message of the film or whatever, if you want to say there's a message in the film, at the very, very end, it is there and kind of said. I'd say this guy at one point he does say something interesting, and I can't remember the exact a quote or exactly what he was saying, but I also thought was very interesting. Kind of, I think it had to do with man and what man likes and those things and how unimportant that they are and whatever this guy was looking for. So kind of interesting on that level. So if you're kind of into a black magic kind of supernatural film, this might be for you. Like I said, it was 2 hours, and I don't think it dragged. I wasn't feeling that 2 hours. Like I said, maybe I could have cut out some of that good and happy stuff earlier. I understand the importance of it, but for me, whatever. I think you would have just gone ahead and assumed that they were a happy family. But we had to have a little bit of extra there to show that they're happy family. Whatever. So yeah, I guess here or there were probably places that they could have cut down a little bit, but definitely it is a little prolonged, and kind of continuing to make the girl do this and the girl do that and kind of whatever. And so, yeah, they could have shrunk it down, but, I guess they wanted to keep the suspense and keep the different tricks or, commands coming and, different whatever. So, they could have probably cut out a thing or two, but I guess, they wanted to show the family, the mother and the father struggle and they're really getting emotional about it and so forth. You could see it in their faces and so forth. So sometimes it's kind of hard to judge the acting when it's not in your natural language and so forth, and how well they're really delivering it. But I thought it was pretty good regardless. I really thought the mother and the father really showed the emotion needed in the situation. So I'll give them that. And like I said, it had my attention for the most part. It didn't kind of stray. I definitely thought it was an interesting way to go. I kind of thinking of a movie that kind of seemed like this, where it's had this kind of control. Sometimes we see it in maybe control on more wider basis, and this was just her. So it was kind of interesting to see him control the rest of the family, but by controlling her, and the stuff that she had to do and stuff. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with the suspense and the tension in some areas, where I guess either the family's lives or her life was kind of in danger, as opposed to some of the more like sit down, stand up kind of things, which really didn't matter, that was going on. So yeah, I liked it. I don't regret putting this on. Sometimes I put these things on and just like, what am I watching? What did I just watch? Or I just tune out and just like, okay, just let it roll and, whatever. But this definitely had my attention enough. So at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give this one 3 pools of blood. So again, it is on Netflix. It says 2024. I don't know how long it's been on Netflix. I think it's kind of new. Again, if you want to give this a try, if you're kind of into the supernatural, black magic kind of thing, it might be for you. Not huge on the blood and guts, not a lot of it, maybe a little here there, but not really that kind of film. More into the suspense and tension, and watching the family kind of suffer in a way kind of movie, and then the ultimates of seeing how it what happens here. So with that, again, yeah, 3 pools of blood and out of 5 for this one. So horrorscoryreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews written in video. Definitely, if you're interested in the written reviews, you're gonna have to go back a little bit. Promise to write again at some point, but for now it's a lot of videos, so you can like and subscribe and do everything that everybody wants you to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless, here or in the short section. Sometimes people really like the shorts or whatever, so feel free to swing over there. And Twitter, Facebook information down below, so you can find me there still. Anything you want to talk horror, you have something you want me to review, talk about this movie, other movies, whatever, feel free to swing over there. And definitely in the comment section, once you catch this film, please feel free to throw in your 2 cents, if you liked it, not, if you kind of enjoyed this black magic kind of thing that was going on here, or, maybe you didn't, I don't know. But with that, I guess I'll catch you in the next review, horror fans.